You think you know the people closest to you, but sometimes, the truth hides in the darkest corners of their hearts. Today, I want to tell you my story, my life, the day I discovered betrayal so deep, it shook me to my core. I was a woman who built her life, piece by piece, through hard work, patience, and love, but one discovery changed everything. I woke up that morning, the sunlight barely creeping through the curtains. The house was quiet, but I had a strange feeling, a tug at the back of my mind. Something was wrong. I walked into the living room, where Julian usually had his coffee. But it wasn't the coffee I noticed, it was the small, familiar tube in the glove compartment of our car, left carelessly behind. I froze. My hands trembled slightly as I picked it up. The residue on the edges, the loose cap, it told a story. A story of secrets. A story of betrayal. Julian and Allison, my son's wife, they were still playing their twisted game. I carried the tube to the kitchen, placed it on the counter, and washed my hands repeatedly, as if scrubbing away the filth I had touched could also scrub away the pain in my heart. I trusted them, I whispered to myself, my voice shaking. I trusted you, Julian. And you were waiting for the right moment to destroy everything I love. I opened the tool drawer. The industrial superglue I had used for fixing chairs at the bakery was still there. I stared at it, an idea forming. Slowly, meticulously, I filled the lubricant tube with glue, drop by drop. They won't suspect a thing, I thought. And maybe this will make them pay for every lie, every betrayal. I returned it to the glove compartment, making sure everything looked untouched. While kneading dough in the bakery later that day, my mind wandered. 40 years of sweat, tears, and work. Every loaf of bread, every tray of pastries. I had built this life with my own hands. I remembered my son, Daniel, growing up, full of laughter, trust, and hope. And now, he believed he was living a happy life with Allison. How could I tell him the truth? I thought of Julian, my husband. The man I once loved, who promised to stand by me, and now, standing there in my kitchen, planning to take everything from me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I heard Julian tiptoeing out of the bedroom, phone in hand. He thought I was asleep. I followed him silently and hid behind the curtain. Yes, of course. Come over tomorrow, Julian whispered. Juliet will be gone for a contract, and we won't have to hide in a hotel anymore. Allison's sweet laugh followed. My blood boiled. They weren't just cheating, they were planning to turn my home into their secret haven. I retrieved Daniel's old recorder, set it to continuous recording, and hid it behind a photo frame. Every word, every sound, would be captured. At dawn, I got up while Julian slept. I prepared a smoke trap in the kitchen, a skillet of oil tied to a string, designed to create panic without real danger. I left the house, pretending to leave for the bus station. Across the street, Mrs. Peterson, my neighbor, watched as I kept my eyes on the house. Everything is ready, I whispered to myself. Around 10 o'clock, Allison arrived. Julian opened the door, ushering her in. I watched through the window, headphones on, listening to every word. Finally, the old hag is gone, Allison said, laughing. My hands clenched the coffee cup, every nerve on edge. A few minutes later, the smoke trap went off. Black spirals of smoke poured from the kitchen. Julian and Allison screamed. Panic, fear, helplessness, all consequences of their choices. Neighbors gathered, Mrs. Peterson filmed everything. The humiliation was public. The betrayal, exposed. Daniel arrived in his firefighter uniform, leading the team. They broke down the front door, rushing to the bedroom. I stayed hidden, heartbreaking for my son. Through the headset, I heard the unimaginable, Julian and Allison, stuck together, helpless, faces pale with fear. My son's voice faltered. What is this? Daniel whispered. The fire crew acted professionally, but the humiliation had already taken hold. Mrs. Peterson recorded it all. Social media buzzed within minutes. At the hospital, I swapped the ointment with mustard. Julian and Allison screamed in agony. The crowd outside and online rejoiced in poetic justice. Daniel received the folder with evidence and the prepared divorce papers. I placed them in front of Julian and Allison. 40 years of marriage end here, I said, cold but firm. Sign these, then disappear from my life and my son's life. Allison begged. Julian tried to reach out. I pulled away. Silence. Justice, finally. Weeks passed. The bakery thrived. Customers praised me. Friends supported me. And slowly, Daniel and I rebuilt our bond. Breakfasts together, simple dinners, laughter returning bit by bit. Flan on weekends, invoices at the counter, smiles shared with neighbors. I joined a cooking club, went to church, and started to care for myself after 40 years of sacrifice. Daniel grew stronger, less burdened, but always tender, always protective. Don't worry, Mom. I'll never leave you alone, he said. Words that healed the broken parts of my heart. I realized strength comes not from revenge, but from surviving, from holding on to what truly matters. My bakery, my son, myself. Julian and Allison lost everything. I gained peace, slowly but surely. And now, when the bell rings at the bakery, when the scent of flan fills the air, I smile. I survived. I endured. And I'm still here. Did you like my story? I ask you now. Remember, life may break us, but it can also make us stronger than we ever imagined. Where are you watching from? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more life stories like mine, subscribe, and never forget, strength comes from surviving, not from revenge.